Hey, this is Brother Bo and Mike Vinas for Stocks Update. It is good that you have joined us in the midst of a crazy market that made everybody like, oh, what's happening? What's happening? We were on our toes. Of course, the newbies were scared, and I can so identify because once upon a time I was a newbie and it scared me. It was in the 2007 and 2008 where on the portfolio, at least on paper, I lost 45%. Now that was really, really scary. How about you, Mike? Have you ever had those kinds of experiences?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, fortunately, I came into the market after '08, so I did see that bull market run, and then you knew what happened after that. Like we would see declines from 2014 and on, and certain years from then. But yeah, I get it. I get it. There are times where you really would get scared. Kasi nga, parang lahat biglang pula, lahat below ganyan, 50, 45%, 30%. Yeah, it happens.
It does happen. Is that Kyler? I can hear Kyler on the background.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. In fact, that's the givens of life. We have to keep on. You have to roll with it. That's my basic point. I'm here in Lourdes, by the way. To everybody who wants to join me one day in a pilgrimage, I'd love that you join us. Come and join us in a pilgrimage to some beautiful sacred sites in Europe, whether that be Fatima or Lourdes. So I do this once a year, once every other year, and it's such a joy being here again. But there, can we do a stocks update together? And we just have to adjust. We have to make do, and that's basically it. The market unpredictable. Anyone who claims that they know what the market will do next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now is pulling your leg. And but here's what we can predict. We can predict the long-term situation of the stock market. We know that the trajectory will go up. And that's the trajectory of the stock market. We've been looking at it, studying it since the 1930s in the US. You see it. The trajectory is going up, and that's what we're telling everybody right now. If you're in the Truly Rich Club and you're new and you feel like, why did the index, the Philippine stock market index, go down below 6,000? Hey, can I tell you? Like people are maybe asking, Brother Bo, Mike, Brother Mike, ba't ganito? Nasa 6.5 na tayo, Tapos bumaba sa 6.3. Ngayon, below 6,000, pababa ng pababa. You know what? I don't know the answer. My guess, our guess, is that the worst, this is the worst. But, worst is a broad thing. It can actually still go down a bit. We don't know. But here's what we know. This is temporary. And also that if you think, okay, what's going to happen 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, we know the trajectory, the general trajectory of the stock market will go up. Did you know that just 2 years ago, when the pandemic started, the index hit 4,800 and lower? Can you just imagine that? That was just 2 plus years ago.
Yeah.
4.8 yung index ng Philippine stock market. So ngayon, umakit na siya when you think about it. Now, what should you do? Like what we always say, you always have to keep on buying, keep on investing, keep on investing. This is what will make you a multimillionaire. We're saying that. What are the 2 recommended stocks that we have for this month? We recommend, mahirap to kasi it's like, again, I always tell people, it's like the candy store experience again, nag-sale yung buong candy store and you've got all these stocks that are selling at really dirt cheap prices. So sa daming choices, what will we choose? We will choose DNL and URC. These are consumer stocks. They're very, very strong. Yung kwento na the economy is opening up after the pandemic, tuloy pa rin yun. So, we believe that the consumer stocks that went down a lot, ay grabe. Sila yung dalawa sila sa mga mararaming stocks na sobrang baba. At we think they've gone lower than the others. We're gonna buy them, buy a little this month, and then that's our call. Mike, your turn, or Kyler's turn.
Yeah, sorry. It's almost sleeping time, so here in Manila at least. So, but yeah, that's the guy we're investing for, right? These are the reasons why we will ride through markets like these, even if we're scared.
Long term. Kyler is only how old?
He's turning 2 this November.
All right.
So, yeah, so kaya tayo nag-i-invest para sa kanila. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that word of encouragement for our members, and definitely these are the times we need to handhold them, given what we've been seeing. In fact, I want to touch on what you mentioned about the worst being over. And that said, the title of my article that comes with this video might seem a bit bold, but what I'm trying to say, basically, the title is Take Advantage of Bargain Prices. Take advantage of bargain prices. You said it yourself. It's like the whole candy store is on sale. So you really have a good opportunity. We really have a good opportunity with us at this time. It depends on how you look at it, diba? So anyway, since July of this year, we here at the Truly Rich Club, along with many analysts who guide us in our recommendations, have been saying that line, that the worst could be over soon, right? We were saying that, I think, several times in our stocks update, in our stock alerts, right? And this was due to indications that inflation was already peaking, which we thought, if that happens, would cause interest rates to go down and the peso to stop depreciating, right? And thus, ergo, benefiting the market. That's how we were seeing it since July. And we said it ourselves. I said it here myself. However, sadly, even if more and more signs are showing that inflation would peak, all right, so di tayo nagkamali doon. Mukhang it's gonna get there eventually, soon, that inflation would peak. Here's the thing. The US Fed still continues with its raising of rates to combat inflation. And that's where the concern is, well, that's the cost to all of this, right? Analysts are now saying that because of that, they don't think the worst is over. Because the US Fed does have plans, or at least they project
until next year.
Exactly, to be raising rates until next year. And so analysts are saying that this continuous rise in rates could somehow lead to a policy mistake and a hard landing of the US economy. And that in turn could lead to a global recession. Now, let's not get too scared with that that word. You said it yourself. We've been through it before. Pero yun nga, sa mga bago sa atin, baka hindi pa. But anyway, but here's the thing. Here's what analysts are saying. Even if there is this gloomy short-term outlook, may I say that? Gloomy short-term outlook. Analysts do not recommend panic selling. Kasi iba, parang okay, nangyari sa ano ko, ibibenta ko na lang, cut losses, ganyan. We do not recommend panic selling as an appropriate strategy because we see this gloomy scenario just in the short term. In fact, in the long term, investors are recommended, and we recommend this as well, to stay invested. To continue accumulating Philippine stocks, and to remain optimistic. And the primary reason for doing all those three, stay invested, continue accumulating, and remain optimistic. The primary reason is this word, valuations. In other words, cheap, low prices. The candy store is on sale. So the Philippine stocks were already cheap actually before September, before the September Fed rate hike. But now they are a lot cheaper. Just to give some context into this, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index has been trading recently at only 12 times its 2023 price earnings ratio, or PE. Okay?
That's wild.
For those of you who don't understand, just look at these numbers. Okay, recently it's 12 times. Historically, its 10-year average is 17 times.
Wow.
So basically, kung inyo naintindihan yun, guys, mura siya. Mura siya ngayon. As in, parang naka-Shopee or Lazada sale talaga, parang ganyan. In fact, with local stocks being so cheap, and this is a good indication that we should be coming in and staying investing, because it's so cheap, many companies and their insiders are actually buying back their own shares.
Yep.
Kasi alam nila di ba, brother? Alam nila na yung kumpanya nila is doing well, it still has a good long-term projection of growth. So they're seeing this golden opportunity now na murang-mura, so they're gonna be in on it. They're not gonna miss out. And nor should we, right? Now, here's the thing, just to temper all this encouragement, just to give a realistic picture, right? In the event of a steep drop in the US market, yes, the Philippine stocks will definitely be negatively affected. It's that old saying that when the US sneezes, the whole world catches a cold, including the Philippine stocks, right? We will get affected. However, according to analysts, our country's better fundamentals can allow local stocks to, in the long term, to outperform the US once conditions normalize. Right? An example of this was when the Philippine market outperformed the US market for 4 years after the 2008 global financial crisis. So it's funny, we were talking about this earlier. Doon ako pumasok sa market in those 4 years after the 2008 crisis. The Philippine market outperformed the US. So this is because Philippine banks then were stronger and they didn't experience a housing bubble, just like the US did. So analysts are saying that this outperformance that happened then could happen again. Happen again. So, in terms of strategy, buying stocks today will give you the advantage of bargain prices. Okay? However, analysts are saying that there is, of course, still that possibility that the market could still go down first. No one can really predict that. In fact, it's even good to already expect that it might go down first. Thus, it's recommended to accumulate stocks slowly to manage risk and to improve your average cost over time. So kahit bumaba pa siya, tuloy-tuloy lang, regularly lang bili. So that as it goes down, you're taking advantage of its lower prices, lowering your cost as well. Okay? Another recommendation is to limit the size of your investment to an amount that you can comfortably maintain for the long term. All right? And notice these strategies, Brother Bo, we've always taught from time immemorial, right? Right from the beginning, right? To buy slowly and to cost average, to accumulate it monthly, quarterly, ganyan. Anyway, so these strategies we've always taught, practiced, and continue to do in the Truly Rich Club. And these strategies will allow us to earn significant profits as soon as conditions normalize and the market turns around in the future, in the long-term future. In the meantime, we take advantage of bargain prices now and as we see in the coming months. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Mike. Just wanted to tell Truly Rich Club members, we've been in this thing, doing this thing for 15 years plus. And so marami ng mga members na naging milyonaryo kasi matagal. So maski bumagsak yung market, they saw their money grow. And sure, yung yung mga tao na may 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, they saw their stock market go up. You know, they now, dahil bumagsak yung market, yung dating 2 million, siguro mga 1.7 na lang, 1.6 na lang. They're not nervous. They're not. In fact, they're excited because they keep on buying these, as Mike said, bargain prices. Knowing, they already know, they've seen this before. You know, aakyat ulit yun. It will go up again to 2 million and it will go beyond 2 million if they keep on buying at cheap prices. So, millionaire, multi-millionaire, future multi-millionaire, keep on keeping on. This is Bo and Mike here in Stocks Update. We keep on guiding you. God bless you.